I really can't get that film, The Platform, out of my head. The one that I watched yesterday. I've had two or three clients in that time, and all I can think about is like people eating people. It's I don't know. It's such a shocking film that I feel like it's kind of stuck in my. I've eaten twice since watching that film, and every time I'm eating the food, I just get these visions of the people eating people. Seriously, the cannibalism in that film. It's very, very shocking, and I wouldn't recommend watching it if you feel sick of things like that. But yeah, it has given me loads of kind of thoughts, though. I mean, like, I like to fantasize about things, and if I am God, I would love to punish people, the bad ones, of course. And so I would love to like remake this film. I know it's so disgusting that I probably shouldn't have anything to do with it, but I can just fantasize about it in this video. But I would love to remake that film, only change a few things. Change it so that it's one per room. I think having two per room kind of makes it feel like I'm deliberately promoting cannibalism, and that's definitely not what I would the plan would be. I would have it differently. I would have like I could say at the end. So at the end, you reveal the secret, which is that every year I look at all the people on Earth who have died, and I kind of choose the maybe 300. I like 333. So choose the 333 worst people on Earth, and then I would put them in order of their crimes. So I'd kind of like time travel, see all their crimes, see all the things that they've done, and kind of list it in order of and put them in order of the worst to least worst people. Okay, technically, millions of people die each year, and so the 333 worst people that die each year is probably, they're probably people who've done pretty terrible things. There probably will be a few there'll be lots of murderers, there'll be lots of rapists, and I don't know, people involved with sex trafficking, definitely. Yeah, I'd put them in order. I'd take the people who I think their crimes are the worst, and then I'd put them in order. And I'd kind of say to myself, like, they can live there for a month. I'd probably feed them 3 times a day, though. I wouldn't just do it once. True, because I think for the number of people that there were, if there was 33 platforms and there's two people on each, 600 people, the table, the food that they gave them each day, there's probably only enough for about 30 people on that table, maybe 30, 40, but definitely not 300. So I would have done it. I would probably do a similar thing like that, only do it 3 times a day. So that way it actually feeds more people. Of course, the people at the bottom are not going to get any food, but then again, the people at the bottom are the people who I think are like the worst people in the world. And it would be interesting to do a film where the person that it focuses on, the main character, is someone who protests his innocence and protests that he hasn't done anything wrong. But right at the end, maybe you have like a television screen. So in each of the levels, you have one person above you, one person below you, and then the ones that fall and commit suicide. Because they can't take whatever it is that's happening, the isolation. And also there'll be a lot of people that, if the food at the stages where the food starts running out, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who do start turning to cannibalism, but they'd have to do it by going onto a level and then going down to the level the next. But I think I would have done it that way, and I would have had it a better communication between the top and the floor levels. In this film that they had, that people didn't talk to the people above, because they are above them, and they didn't talk to people below because they are below them. But I feel like that's not actually realistic to how people would react if they were in that situation. If in that situation, they'd be freaked out of their mind, and talking probably would have helped comfort them. So I don't think they would have been the assholes that they made out. In fact, they probably would have banded together, said, "Okay, I'll come onto your level, and then maybe we'll go onto the level below and we'll join forces, and at least we're together." I'm sure they would have done something like that. And then maybe every month they fall asleep and they wake up on a different level. Only this time I would do the level. So I'd make it, though, that people don't know why they're on what level they're on. So if people wake up, you can have the film just starting off as like people waking up and they're on a level Some of them are protesting that they've done something wrong and they don't deserve to be there. Some of them will probably be like, yeah, this is hell. God has sent us to hell, and I deserve to be here and stuff. And some might even deliberately commit suicide because they know that they're in hell, and they feel that dying is actually um, fair. There's some people that might be like that, and there's some people that might be like, no, I want to live, and I know if, maybe there'll be some thing that says, if you can survive 6 months here, we'll let you go. So that's that there could be like some TV screen that just sort of gives some basic info, but they don't know much. They don't know like why they're there, or some of them will know why they're there because they're all terrible people. So, but some people who are terrible people don't believe that they're terrible people. They think that there's not nothing that they've done wrong. But anyway, so that's how I would have it. And I'd have some film where where the people who don't get any food, that you maybe one by one turn, you actually see the different levels. I don't know how you'd have it, because you'd need to sort of find ways of getting the main character to move down to the next level, because you can't go up, but you can only go down. And eventually someone might go all the way down, but I don't know what kind of idea you could have for that, because you can imagine the lower you go, the worse things will be. And therefore women are pretty much screwed, because a lot of them will be rapists. I don't think there'll be many women there though. If it's a hell, if it's like the worst 333 people in the world that's died that year or something, not very many people will be women. I don't think many women will be in that count. You would have to be pretty. But yeah, I don't know. I'll just do something like that. And the whole idea of the film would be to scare the fuck out of people and think, okay, I don't know what's in the afterlife. I don't know if there's a hell or not, but I don't want to be in the worst 333 people or something. But yeah, you could have quite an interesting film where the food starts running out, and people start jumping down levels to kill the person below and eat them, and then you could have other people. I don't know if there's, maybe you could have like four main characters, and they're all on different levels, and somehow they end up together on the same level, but they all have like a different story about how they get to the same level. Or every month they do get reorganized, but they don't know how they're reorganized. So I would have them being reorganized by, imagine there's like a camera watching what they do when they get reorganized. How they react is, so your opinion, when if you have an opinion of someone based on their history, well, imagine another month goes on and they're in hell, and you see how they react. If they're someone who jumps off the building and dies, they might actually be brought back to life again, because that's a possibility, because the whole thing is set in the afterlife. It's kind of like the Matrix world, but in a paradox world where you have a physical body, or you think you have a physical body, but technically your soul has just a number, and you can be easily brought back to life. And I don't know, if someone's murdered you and chopped you up, and I don't think I would focus on the cannibalism part of it, but I would focus on the people going mad and killing each other kind of bit. I think I would focus more on that than the cannibalism, although I think cannibalism is part of, I don't know. I don't know how you could avoid the cannibalism, because that was really disgusting. But I like the idea of scaring the fuck out of people. I feel like that film was just so shocking. If you want to shock people, bad people, into not being bad, create this world where this is where all the bad people go, and this might happen to you if you're a bad person. That'll be the point of the film. Um, but yeah, it'd be absolutely awful if someone actually was in there. But yeah, that's just what I want to say.